In this video, we will reverse engineer the Amazon competitors. So if you have competition for your Amazon product listings, in this session, our guest will teach you how to find keywords which can be used profitably and increase revenue of your product listing. And our guest will be Christian Otto Kelm from Amalyze company. Before we move on with the session, I wanted to mention that this session is part of the SellerFest online virtual event, which is sponsored by two great companies. Getida is a FBA auditing company, and they're specializing in maximizing FBA reimbursements for Amazon sellers of any size. So if you have a lot of you probably have a lot of uncovered money which is owned by Amazon, so check them out. You will find link in the description. And VA Academy specializes in providing professional virtual assistants for any type of issue and topic in your Amazon business, PPC management, listing optimization, and everything else. So check the link below in the description as well and book your virtual assistants now. And this session I'm hosting together with LISETT. Liz, she works with Amazon brands and with Orange Klik.
Hi, Augustas. Great to be here, back with you to host another awesome session. And I'm excited to welcome Christian here today, who will share his knowledge about how to find and use Amazon competitors' keywords to improve your own listing. So, hi, Christian. Before we go to your presentation, could you first introduce yourself and let us know what you do in the Amazon space?
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm operating in the Amazon space since 10 years as a vendor, as a seller, as part of an agency, and last but not least, software as a service with Amalyze, and we can help you to understand more the insights of your competitors, and which is the point we want to talk exactly today about.
All right, and while you're preparing to share your screen, I wanted to mention that everyone who is watching this session, you are welcome to shoot your questions to Christian if you are following his presentation and you still have something to ask him. If you're watching live, you will be able to get answers immediately. And if you're watching the replay, leave your questions in the comment box. And also, if you enjoy session at any time, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. So, Christian, we have your slides. Everything is ready.
Yeah. So first of all, let's start with the topic of course. It's about how to find relevant competitors. That is a relevant part of your business course. Normally, you're only looking for high search volume terms, and when you're figuring out which products are placed where. But we want to change your mind in that situation in the slides we will show you later. And on the other side, how to find the keywords you really need for search engine optimization. There's one big mistake everybody is doing. I will show you that. It's, from my point of view, too much focus on search volume, especially with the new tools of Amazon. We can really focus on where revenue is coming from. And last but not least, how to include those topics into your content. And we are not talking only about the content in the situation of text, bullet points, description, search terms, but it's also relevant to put that information we will build up today into your, for example, images or enhanced brand content and so on. So we will start with a little presentation about the problem, and then we will go live into solution that we can offer to you. So normally, you know, it's so-called seed keyword, so your specific topic. In our topic here, we have started with LED. Of course, LED stripe or LED strip light or LED strip lights, they have one thing in common, LED. And we are seeing here the search frequency rank of 54. That is really, really impressive. Top 50 most relevant keyword on Amazon.co.uk. You know what I mean. And LED strip light is absolutely relevant. So we have a product in that category. Don't call it niche. It's just a big product category. And then you can go into the Opportunity Explorer. Amazon is offering a lot of cool insights, but they are facing a lot of limitations. No duplicates per specific niche. Only 20 different top search terms are shown. But interesting data, but normally 19 days, 360 days. And even if you're going more into the details, you will only find some things like a click share, click count. And when it's not your product, you will not see any hard insights for that product, even if you're using the new search query performance matrix, search catalog performance matrix. And so they are also interesting to know about, but when you're not into that topic directly, it's really, really hard to understand what is happening at the end. So finding the relevant competitors, you can try to work with, for example, brand analytics. Yeah, you go to the dashboard, search terms, and you only find the 3 most clicked ASINs, not the best placed ASINs, not the highest revenue or the best conversion share. It starts with the 3 mostly clicked ASINs. Okay, so we have a lot of problems to face, as I said, to sum up, limited to 20 search terms, no duplicates shown. Only a few products that Amazon is showing per niche. You are limited to the shown search terms. If you are really into detail, you can switch it from daily to weekly to monthly to quarterly insights, and you will see that a lot of keywords are cut by day, by week, by month, and quarterly. When you are limited to top click products, I really don't like it to only focus on the top 3. Of course, what is the common feature of that 3? Is it the price? Is it the image scenario? Maybe all of them are using specific ads. You're not into it. And now you have to decide what's the relevant data range. Yeah, the relevant data range, especially when you're coming from the Amazon tools, 19 days, 365 days. And as I said, weekly, monthly, quarterly data. It's really, really hard to decide what to look on. And even if you find a specific data to use, what's about real words? What are the relevant words and how to figure it out? So that's the big problem. So to put all of that together, it's really easy. You need to check every ASIN, and you have to find out what are the different keywords they are ranking for, and then you need to double check with your own content all the time. Of course, you have figured out, oh, that could be a relevant search term, all the ASINs are there, and now you have to double check with your own listings. Have I used it? Where have I used it? Did I pull it up exact phrase, ABC, or is A in the title, B in the bullet points, C in the search terms? A lot of work, and you have to go through it. When we are going more into the system of work in process, you need to benchmark your listing. Normally, that is really easy. There are 2 sides you can focus on. The one side is you have to benchmark your listing after a specific number of sales, after 500 sales. Of course, it depends on your niche. Maybe you have a high running niche, thousands and thousands of sales per week, when you maybe only want to update it after 10,000 sales. On the other side, you should go with a specific time frame. My favorite time frame is 1 month. Of course, you have all that seasonal behavior from month to month, special vacations, special days, special events, Easter and Xmas, and all the time. And also the weather changes from autumn to winter and all that stuff. But with a monthly interval, you can solve that problem really, really good. So what you now have to focus on is to understand that under the normal searches, there are a lot of competitors, of course, but what is the competition about? Is it the price? Is it a specific length? Is it a specific feature? Is it a specific add-on like the power adapter? Or is it with an app or not with an app? And well, that is really, really hard to understand and go through it in the SERPs of Amazon. You have to work through it step by step by step, and you have to really, really know your competition. So There's one simple solution. You can use, for example, our extension for that. And if you're looking in the search file, ASIN with a pipe between it as an OR operator, you will see all the related keywords directly. You can use it for free for a short time, the extension, and you will find all relevant keywords for that products they have in common. But you don't know about sales. Are there really sales coming through that words? And that's the reason why we have developed a specific solution for that. So you're not entering LED strip lights or whatever. You're directly focusing. You can do it on Amazon or in a tool like Amalyze with your specific length. For example, 15 meters. Then you're figuring out, okay, what's the price point? In our example, up to 15 pound. Do they have in common 15 meters RGB or, for example, remote power adapter? You can read it in the titles. I will show you in a few seconds. And then you build a compared cluster of products and you work with them. You open it first in sales share. Course, really simple. You don't want to look at products that are not making any sales. We are not interested in where the products are shown. We want to know where the sales are coming from our competitors. After that, just easily go to the reverse lookup, and now we re-engineer where the products are shown. But that's not the only thing we are talking about here. We want to go into details. As you're seeing here, over 1,700 keywords. That is a lot. And 100% of the keyword search volume and revenue share. Okay, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I want to know where the revenue is coming from. And it's not where the search volume is the highest. You can see it here. I will show you in a few seconds directly with a live example. And after that, now we can focus on the keywords. As you see it here with the search volume as a filter, you will only optimize for nearly 20% of revenue share. We want to go for revenue share, and so we need a filter for it, and you're seeing 75%. That sounds interesting. Now we can move on. Now we can go into the details. And so we are just open up a list on our system, or you can copy or download all the keywords, and now you can start to include that insights in your listing and benchmark your listing against the competitors where they are making their revenue share. And that's the reason why it's so interesting to do that month by month. I will show you that directly with a live example. Here, for example, we are seeing that a few words are missing. For example, bed, bedroom, television, and also the audience, kids, and a lot more stuff like that. But everybody normally is saying, yeah, you can prepare slides and it's no problem. Buying power 47%. Okay, yeah. Oh, yes, you optimized it up to 81%, but I don't believe it, or that was really too fast. So what I really like, just take a deep breath. Remember what we have done really fast. The only thing was look at your competitors. Don't try to figure out where they are shown in the SERP. Figure out where the revenue is coming from. And so normally you need a tool for that. And so we will go through that in one simple live scenario. Before we do so, we are looking on the right. Hey, Christian, do you sort the brand analytics by brand count in your analyzes? You will see what I will do in a few seconds, and your question will be solved immediately. So, as I said, just go to the database, LED stripe 15 meters, as our listing is exactly in that segment. Now we can open up whatever we want focus on. If it's search volume, I talked about it. It's not absolutely cool. Buying power. Oh, buying power. That looks interesting. So these are the relevant words. We have built it up a specific KPI for that. We don't need the insights. We need the keyword rankings. And as I said, we want to focus, let's say, 15 pounds price. You can double check RGB with remote, it's fitting, and the length 15. No, that one is too long, as you can see directly here. Okay, it makes nearly 500 sold units, but it's not our topic. We will go through the 15 meter examples. Even the 13 ones are shown in the SERP. That is not our interest. Maybe that is a bit too expensive. You can remove it and you can just enjoy your time while figuring out relevant products here. As you can see, you can scroll down and go deeper and deeper. If you're not seeing the product, you can click on it. On the other side, you can open it on Amazon, of course. With that example, I would say that is enough. And as I said, open it firstly in sales share. Of course, we really need to know where the sales are coming from. Oh, well, that was really good. Okay, I prepared it in the morning. There were a few listings without any sales. I was sure I'm not so good. Here. Okay, 0.6. Okay, 0.06. We can get rid of it. The rest sounds really, really cool. For live example, that was a good one. And now we want to reverse engineer with a reverse lookup where we should focus on. Over 2,700 keywords, that is too much. I'm not interested in, let's see, the changing when we are going for search volume for only 2,000. Oh, that's not good. High search volume, you're welcome. Go for your keywords. I wouldn't do that. Let's just try with a 0.1% of revenue share. Should be better. Nearly 70%. I'm fine with that. That's a cool example. And now we can go with that. Of course, now we have relevant data. And if you remember or you skip back, you have seen, well, there are not so many keywords as before. No, we are now really, really focusing on that keywords. In our system, really easy, or you can do it in brand analytics or whatever you want, where your data source is coming from. Make sure you are copying your keywords. You can download them, or in our case, just add it to a list. You're seeing for today, I've prepared a little one. There are only 100 keywords in it, and now duplicates will be directly erased. 205 keywords are added to it. We have our own Explorer for that. That is really cool, but we want to go directly in our project. And now the magic happens. That is the point when it becomes interesting. I have erased the brand, of course, but we have a cool title preview. That's really cool. We have really, really good bullet points. From my point of view, everything is there. Everything is included. Description is here. Search terms, they are not bad. They are a bit too much focused on mistakes, but it depends. Scottish accent, Welsh accent, I think it's called. So maybe you have to include it. But now we need to benchmark our listing. And you can include our list, or you can do it here. And we want to see our live list. Now the keywords are updated and we are seeing, okay, Alexa, no, Alexa, we want to get rid of it. So no problem, but at the end, only 35% of buying power with that listing. Amazon, no, we don't want to use any brand. But, well, desk, bedroom, echo, okay, that is a typical Amazon scenario. And you can, yeah, it works with the phone. What is wrong here? We have an app on that product. With app, oh no, we have forgotten that it is phone controlled. We didn't use that simple synonym. Maybe we can work through that here and enter it anywhere where we want. Okay, that's not the typical scenario. I don't want to talk about how to write your content. I only want to show you what will happen when we are getting more and more focused. So we really forgotten that at the moment, and I've seen that as I prepared the slides one month ago, that the bedroom and the bed are absolutely a new trend in LED light stripes. We need to include that. You're seeing that. Well, a lot of phrases. We don't need to use them directly. If we want to, that's no problem. Everybody is using that for a desk. As the content was built up 2 years ago, nobody was interested to putting LED lights on the desk. Now it's becoming more and more relevant. As we talked about, oh yes, it's tape. It's self-attensive. We have written that in a bullet point, but we haven't used it with the tape, as we said. With a phone, yes, it's app controlled, and we are seeing, oh, more and more people are trying to use LED stripes in the office. And yes, LED stripe is also called rope. Well, what a bad mistake. Our audience, yes, boys are using it. And music? No. We have music in our content. I'm really sure about that. Let's have a look. Music. Where is it? Music controlled. Oh no, we have written it wrong. Well, that is not good. So the normal word music is not really good in your content. So you need to make sure that you're really going into the details. Google, okay, we have talked about that. Get rid of that cool stuff. Oh no, Christmas season. Everybody is looking for cool stuff. Damn it. As we prepared the listing, our last update 1 or 2 months ago, we missed that cool stuff. And what you're seeing now is we are up to 80% of buying power immediately. Now let's talk about the VM. VM is really easy. Of course, it's a problem with the measurement. We can get rid of that problem really easy. On the one side, we have 15 meters here. On the other side, we have 15 meter. And so, okay, go to the bullet point sometimes. Okay, just one space to make sure that M is crossed and we don't have that problem. At the end, you can go through it and you will find more and more, but it's not so easy to understand it. So make it easy. You can double check it with different point of view. Let's go for buying power. That could be more relevant. Nanoleaf, that's a specific brand for TVs. Oh no, yes, Wi-Fi. It has an app. Oh no, it's also Wi-Fi connectable, and it's for TVs. TVs is just another word for television. LED Lichter. Somebody is maybe searching in a German slang, and when stripe lights. No, we have forgotten that synonym. Really simple. Stripe lights. Okay, what's next? Let's go through it. Really simple. Oh no, the typical mistake. Color and color, written with OU and written in the normal slang. I am just entering them at the back end. You're seeing here we are over the normal limit, but you can fill it into the title bullet points and write and take synonyms. On the other side, as I said, make sure include that in your pictures and images. Bedroom is a different kind of image language than office, than voice, than music control or synced with music. Make sure you have that in your content. And we are using it for a party, of course. Changing. Oh no, we have forgotten changing. What word we have used. So you can go through it step by step. You can adjust the brightness, change colors, written wrong, or in the British English, or power LEDs on and off. Yes, adjust brightening is changing. Yeah, you need to use the right word. Okay, changing. You need to make sure it's also in there. And let's go into more details. When you're not into it, you're maybe like, no, just change the point of view from the normal words most used to efficient. That means what are the relevant terms. You're seeing here when you're working with external traffic, you can at the end find a few titles. You can directly exclude them, as I've done it before. The long terms and a few brands are excluded, or the 12 volt as that are not they are not relevant. 24 volt, yes, that is what our product is relevant for, of course, to the features. And the last for controlled. Yes, it is app controlled, but you need to make sure that you're using the words controlled, and we are putting that in our content. So you can work through that step by step, and you will figuring out more and more and more details. And from my point of view, one is missing. When I'm thinking about, maybe we will find it. Oh, RGB and sync. Yeah, of course, it's music controlled, app controlled for home and kitchen. Sync with your music. And so we're making sure we have music in it, sync in it, compatible. Yeah, we have to include that also. But RGB, why is that missing? Yes, we have the feature RGB W, RGB white. And so if you want to have it in the title, you can work like that. So you have a problem with the RGB white, and so make sure just one of the biggest features, RGB LED stripes, put it in there, and you don't have that problem. Yeah, you can add compatible and so on. And when you now imagine music is also sound, that is not included. 15 meter, it's our big feature, not included. I think 14 meters is hidden somewhere else and so on. And we are up to 85% of buying power with only looking at our competitors and readjust, re-update our listing only in a few minutes, as I have shown you, once with slides prepared, of course, and once directly live. And that was less than 10 minutes, I think. Just focus on the main keyword, figuring out what the main competition is about, your price, your features, your special functions. Make sure you compare only your product with your products, and then you can go into it, open up your listing. You can upload your listing into Amalyze, so you have all that content in it, and then you can directly start. Then absolutely relevant question: how often do you include Spanish words in your search terms? Really easy. Always when I find that a competitor is making sales with it. If we are talking about Amazon, United Kingdom, it's not so common. There are a lot of German searches. When we're talking about Amazon.com, Spanish is one of the most relevant languages after the English ones, then French and German. German is also a big searched language, but you don't have to ask that questions for yourself. As long as no competitor is ranking for it or making sales under that keywords, you don't need to focus on that. On the other side, don't get it too language specific. Let's talk about LED minus stripe, all the different spellings that I'm seeing in backends written with minus between it. When you find it and somebody is making sales with that keywords, include them. When it's in different language, include it. In Germany, in the jewelry, we have a lot of search in Turkish and Polish. Sorry, not Polish. Polish is a different thing, in Polish. And so make sure when you're seeing them, don't ignore them. It's the basement, the fundamental basement for your relevance in the search engine optimization and for your PPC. And so one last questions I'm always getting when we're talking about it. So let's say LED stripe lights bedroom. I'm ranking for it. I don't need to include bedroom anymore. Of course, I'm on the first page, position 6. Well, when you are starting to include it, from that point, you maybe will directly become, you will directly be on position 4, for example. And your PPC relevance grows immediately. After including that one, you will be positioned better. Your relevance is better. For example, we have a specific warm, cold, cooling pad for kids. And when we start to include a few of the keywords we are figuring out with that, we are ranking for them, but we haven't included this. specific names for colors and so stuff. Sometimes we are directly Amazon choice badge. Yeah, on the other side, we are ranking really fast. Of course, we haven't ignored the words. Until then, updated the listing, and you're seeing directly the impacts in the SERP sites, where it is really, really interesting. And from my point of view, the easiest way to benchmark your listing against the relevant scenarios and update it immediately without thinking about, is that word relevant? Is that not relevant? Should I use the whole search term or only one word? Just make it as easy as possible. And that was a thing I wanted to share with you and show you. And hopefully you have understand the idea behind all the different Amazon tools, which are really cool, which are really, really great. But sometimes they're only connected to your own products. On the other side, a lot of data are missing. And so we have combined it to build a solution where you can quickly benchmark your listing and adjust that typical errors of color and color. Yeah, it's missed. Or the audiences, like the boys. Or it's music controlled. Yes, you can sync it with the music, other word for it. It's sound, strip lights written together. All that synonyms. You cannot think of all that you cannot think by your own of all that synonyms and writings. So let a tool help you.
Thank you very much, Christian. While you're taking a sip of water, I would like to remind everyone, if you enjoy the content, don't forget to like and subscribe. So we need more likes for this video, no matter when you're watching it, in the morning, in the evening. And also, if you need help drinking your own water, you can hire a virtual assistant from VA Academy. No, I'm joking.
No, but yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. If you need a cup, also you can get extra money from Amazon with Getida and buy the cup. All right. I wanted to ask Christian about Amalyze. We actually have a link below, affiliate link for Amalyze. You can sign up and try this software by yourself. But what, very shortly, what problems does it solve for you, for Amazon sellers?
Yeah, normally we are offering one of the biggest databases when it comes to products and keywords. That means 3 billion products. No translation problem from German to English. No, we are talking about billions. Over 120 millions of search terms. And our idea is to use the same database and change the point of view, as we have done it, for example, from search volume to buying power or to frequency, and trying to make sure that everybody get enough data that you not can imagine by yourself. All that synonyms, we can connect it directly to your products. We have built it up an entity cluster to make sure everybody understands content better. And at the end, you are able to understand the customer better while we are, let's say, we are translating the Amazon search terms into normal language, into understandable language. And what we have seen over the last years, that our KPIs are really, really interesting for the users, like revenue share, buying power. It's more than search volume on Amazon. And so we have tried to change the point of view of our customers, so of the sellers, on their customers, on the shopping behavior. That is our idea behind it, to keep it simple in simple words.
Perfect. And now I would like to mention that part of this virtual event, Seller Fest Online, we also have a VIP package. LISETT, hi. Could you tell us a little bit more about VIP package, which we curated together with about 20 speakers from this event, so they record additional sessions?
Sure. Happy to introduce the VIP package. So what we actually did together with the experts was that we asked them to record additional videos, which are more like workshop style videos that actually help you to overcome challenges, because we know it's sometimes difficult to get like step-by-step instructions, and really having those videos that teach you how to actually analyze your listings or make your advertising more effective. So with these videos, you can find like topics like advertising, storefronts, listing optimization, everything you need. But all of the videos are there to help you or your team members to actually do the changes in your store. And Christian also provided us the VIP session about how to find keywords that you really need for PPC. So can you give us a short overview what you shared in that VIP video?
The normal problem is that everybody is forgetting about PPC relevance. Everybody is trying to set advertising on a specific keyword and set the bid as high as possible or as performable or what's the word, profitable as possible. But everybody is forgetting about the topic. To be relevant for a search term, you need to make sure that the words you're advertising on are included in your listing. And I'm showing you in that video how to get rid of that problem really easily and make sure before you're setting up your ads, benchmark your listing, benchmark your PPC, and don't make that typical mistake of setting ads without making sure your content is relevant for that ads.
And when you will follow the link below in the description or the one you see on the screen, once you upgrade to VP, you'll get access to all these sessions in the members area and you can watch them all. So thank you, Christian. And I think now we're ready to move to the questions.
Yeah, sure. Let's take, you already answered a few, but let's take next questions. So what do you think about the keyword, which search frequency rank is great, but when checking its search volume with the tool, it's actually low?
It depends. Normally, you need to understand what the tool is showing. Normally, the tool is showing a 13-time interval, and the Amazon tools, you need to adjust daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. And the search frequency rank is nothing more than a combination of all that words. So number 1 is most searched, but number 100 isn't less searched. Maybe 1 to 100 have the same search volume. So that's the problem when you're going through a list. The normal numbers are missing behind it, and the tool's working with their own algorithm at the end. But normally, when you're looking at the differences, number 1 is number 1, number 2 is number 2, only a few differences. But the most interesting part here isn't the search frequency rank. It's when you're looking into the data of most clicked ASIN and their revenue share on the whole slot. We have written a blog about that 4 or 3 years ago as brand analytics was implemented. And what you're seeing is, as lower the search frequency rank is, and as more specific a search is, as higher the click share and the revenue share of the 3 most clicked ASIN will be. So I'm typically not looking at that top 3 ASINs. We have seen a lot of stuff when it comes to external advertising, working with influencers and so on. So that data were cool as there were only that data, but with the new Amazon tools, you get so many more insights than a search frequency rank. Of course, the search frequency rank doesn't say anything about it. Of course, there is no comparison to the next one. Is it just 1 customer less or 1 customer more, you're number 1 or you're number 2? But what's with the whole behavior? And it's more about trend analysis instead of figuring out which data is the truest. Of course, the trends behind it are, from my point of view, the more relevant insights. Even when you're judging tools and compare tool to tool, somebody is using calculation multiplied 1.5, the other one 1.2.5, and the other ones are just copying the data from Amazon backend. And so it's about trend analysis and figuring out where the sales are coming from. And that is more relevant from my point of view.
Okay, thank you for that insightful answer. So another question, how to translate search volume data of smaller European marketplaces to understand if it's good or bad? Because in US, the search volumes are much higher.
Yes, that is one of the biggest problems we are seeing in Europe. That is really, really hard. Everybody's talking about the 5 big marketplaces in Europe: United Kingdom, Germany, Spain, France, and Italy. But Spain and Italy are really, really small. And we are talking about 100 million people. So now Amazon has offered Poland, Sweden, Netherlands, I think what was Belgium. And the problem here is not to look at the search volume. We have seen Amazon has doubled up their revenue from $500 million to 1 billion in the Netherlands in 1 year. It's about the product fit. The French people are not searching the same like the Spanish people. They are not living in the same habitat. Yeah, the Germans have more money than the Italians in when it comes to household income. The UK, you have a border problem. So don't look on the search volume. The tools are offering it, Amazon is offering it, but that will not help you if search volume is high or low. LED stripe search volume in Italy and Spain is low, UK is high. That doesn't mean you need to focus on LED stripe. You need to find out if it's with remote. What plug you need, UK, different plug than the rest of the European Union. What features they are going through. Are they music addicted, or do they just want changing lights? Or do they want to save energy at the moment? So you need to figure out what function, what features relevant. You need to figuring out what products fits best for the market. And when it comes to analyze search volume, it's more interesting to make sure that you understand customer behavior. A search starts after somebody said to you, that is a cool LED stripe. And when you're thinking about, hey, yes, that is a cool LED stripe. I've seen it on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube Shorts, wherever. And now I start to go shopping for it. So make sure if there is no search volume, that doesn't mean there is no market for it. Brand building is that word everybody's using, and you need to make sure that Amazon is the last point of a customer journey, and only why nobody is searching at the moment in the in the small marketplaces doesn't mean that there is no need for the specific products. And on the other side, Belgium, Netherlands, Poland, they had their big marketplaces before. Bol, Allegro, in France, Cdiscount, and on the other side, Netherlands people can order via the Amazon app in German and deliver it to the Netherlands. They have done it 10 years. Why they should change their behavior and change the app to the other language? So it's hard into details. Never judge a market on search volume. That is not the big thing behind it. Make sure to build up your audience, the need, and after that, they will start to search.
All right. We have Gilbert, whose questions you answered earlier. He's really thankful for your knowledge. And we have a question from Rodney. If my product is an accessory for a trademarked brand, let's say chapstick, can I use that brand name in my PPC keywords and not use them in the listing?
Yeah, if you're a normal accessory, you can always use it in the listing, compatible to. Yeah, that is no problem. And for PPC, you're really allowed to go onto the branded keywords. That is also no problem. But when you're just an XYZ phone, you are not allowed to put iPhone, Apple, and all that stuff into your listing. But you can always start advertising on it. When your accessory compatible with, that is absolutely relevant, compatible with, compatible for. And on the other side, my highlight, you're missing the relevance. Of course, brand has the highest relevance to brand search, but that only belongs to sponsored products. If you're using sponsored brands, there is no relevance of your content to the PPC. Of course, sponsored brands are normally guided to a landing page, and Amazon is not able to judge that products by relevance. So you will have a lot of impact with sponsored brand PPC, sponsored brands PPC on branded keywords. That's my absolutely high level trick. So you can have a lot of fun with that, focusing on sponsored brands.
Perfect. So if still someone is watching, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit like as many times as you like to what Christian said. And I think we are good with everything. We can say thanks to Christian. Thank you, LISETT, as well. And Christian, one more time, people can find you or find the product you represent, Amalyze. They will find link below in the description. And in 10 words, Amalyze is
one of the best Amazon tools out there in that year. We are number one. We are ranked number one.
Good job.
And a small remark on your setup. Let's look at your screen. You have Amalyze on your right side, on the shelf, on your T-shirt, on your wall. I think the lamp is missing Amalyze logo, and also one of your Lego figures need to have Amalyze writing.
Well, no. Lego.
Oh.
The Lego Amalyze figure.
Oh, is there already?
Yeah. The focus is missing, but yes, Amalyze on it. So we have it.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a hard Lego and Pokemon nerd. I'm really hard into it.
Yeah, and Rodney says thank you for the helpful response, and Jill is just laughing with us. Thank you very much, guys. Bye. Good luck in your business.
Bye.
Thank you.
And now I would like to invite you to watch other video with Christian where he goes in depth about Amalyze. It's a full demo. You can learn how to use it and where in your Amazon business it could fit and help